Hello, friends and fellow drivers. OG Transporter 828 here, your transcontinental logistics relocation expert. Yeah, that's it, every single time. So, look, the video you're about to see, I shot a little while ago, and there was a person that I met in a truck stop. He has been driving for about 7 years, and he learned from a trainer who had been driving for 10 years before he taught him how to drive. And that's what I want to share with you today. And here's the deal, right, about that whole thing. I want to bring to you my opinion about what's wrong with trucking today, right, in North America. We have an issue here. We have a problem here, okay? And in my opinion, it's fixable, absolutely, positively, completely solvable, no problem. But there's no one organization or one person who's going to make that happen. That's the problem. If there is one, that would be the one. And so there's some issues that happen here in North America today in trucking that it has grown into what it is today, and it didn't used to be this way at all. So understand that that's what I'm talking about here when I'm talking about, I don't mention any names, but when I talk about the person that I met, he's got 7 years worth of experience. He started out driving local single screw, like a single axle tractor, single axle trailer. He was making local deliveries in extremely tight urban environments, and then he went out on the road. So he had driving skills, but he did not have that type of longevity that he needed to have, and durability that he needed to have to be a transcontinental driver. And he had to learn how to do that. So fortunately, he had someone who had about 10 years of driving experience cross country to be his mentor, to be his teacher. And so that's what helped him a great deal. So let's take a look at the video. Tell me what you think. Send your responses, send your replies, and definitely share the videos with those, okay, that you want to. Oh, one other thing about the video. There may be some issues with the visual in some sections because I was in and out of some weird lighting environments as I was driving and doing the video. So please look past that and let's see what we can do to get out of it, what needs to come out of it. And tell me what you think. Tell me where you are with this whole thing, okay? It's a challenge, as usual. I'm going to challenge you because rising to the occasion of a challenge oftentimes makes you a better person at what it is that you're attempting to do. All right? Okay, so let's watch the video and I'll talk to you later. Okay. Hello, friends, fellow drivers. OG Transporter 828 here, your transcontinental logistics relocation expert. I'm here at your service one more time, and hopefully I can give you some nuggets of information that might be helpful to you. All right? Okay, so here we go. Here's what it is. As soon as this wonderful lady gets by me, step on that loud pedal there, ma'am. There you go. Anyway, here's what's going on. This person has been driving for about 7 years or so. They were taught by a person who had been driving for 10 years at the time when they decided, well, this person's trainer had been driving for 10 years. And so the guy that I met 2 days ago said that he's noticed a change, somewhat of a change in the trucking industry. Like I said, he's been driving for about 7 years. And his opinion of somewhat of a change versus my opinion of drastic change, two different things because of the length of time that we've both been driving. perspective. Okay, so I see it from a different perspective. Have you ever heard that story real quick of the two blind men? Well, it's three blind men. It's just that I forgot what the third one was. But they can't see, and they walk up to the leg of an elephant, or they're guided up to the leg of an elephant, and they run into it. One of them says, "We ran into a tree." Somebody else says, "We ran into a wall." I forgot what the third one said. But none of them said that we ran into an elephant, because from their perspective, each one of their perspectives, they see it differently. Pardon the pun, because they're blind. But so he had his opinion about it's changed a little. He's been driving for 7 years. I have my opinion. It's changed humongously, right? Because I've been driving for years more than I can count. All right. So look, check this out. What do I think is wrong? I think what's wrong is two parts are what's making this wrong. The first part is the giant carriers. I'm not picking on them because they're big, because you could have small carriers who do the same thing. When I say small, you could have somebody that has 10 trucks. You could have somebody that has 50 trucks, 50 trucks, okay? That could fall into doing this very same thing that the mega carriers do, which is they have a mentality of a revolving door mentality, where they don't really care too much about the people that they hire. They want to get more and more trucks on the road so they can increase their revenue and offset expenses versus income, right? And payouts. So the best way for them to do that and handle it is to get as many people behind the wheel of a truck as humanly possible, right? So they tell somebody that they know that works for the company, they know that person has only been driving for like 8 months, or they've been driving for 10 months, So they say to them, "We're starting a trainee program. Would you like to become a trainer?" Well, as soon as you drive for a year, as soon as your 1 year period comes forward, then you can become a trainer. Now, we're not talking about a person who has been driving already in their lives for 10 years or 15 years or whatever it is, and they're a new employee at a company, and the company says, "Hey, if you want to become a trainer, then as soon as your year anniversary shows up, you can start being a trainer." I'm not talking about that scenario. I'm talking about the scenario of an individual who has not ever driven a truck before. They're brand new to trucking, and this company hired them as a brand new trucker and has told them, as soon as your 1 year anniversary shows up, you can become a trainer of other people who were like yourselves, who started at the bottom where they had no experience, and now you want to teach them how to drive, but you've only got a year in yourself. All right, that's a problem. Okay, I'm just saying that's a problem. I am sorry if I'm talking to you right now as you're one of those people. I'm sorry. You gain some knowledge and get real good at what you do, because you have people's lives at stake. Some decisions that you will be making for your trainee will affect not only that trainee, it will affect you, your family, that trainee's family, and people around you. Some of the decisions that you might be making, like letting somebody who's already told you that they are apprehensive about driving at night, but you're going to make them drive at night anyway. Okay? Because you have the power to do so, so that's what you're going to do. Besides, you don't want to drive at night. You want them to drive at night. And then you just say to yourself, oh, I know, I want to make them drive at night because, well, you got to learn sometime. And the truth of the matter is you really don't want to drive at night, and you have an indentured servant next to you, and you decide that you're going to make them do all the work. Okay, cool. That's what's wrong with the trucking industry today. Mega carriers that do this, small carriers that do this, that put non-qualified people in the general sense that most people would say, no, that's not a qualified person. They put them in a role of authority to teach other people how to drive. So now you have a person who has learned how to, let's say you're one of those people that learned from someone who's only been training for a year, right? Let's say that's who you are. All right. Now, because of that, you find yourself doing what they did to you. That makes sense? You find yourself doing what they did to you. So in other words, you come across somebody, the company that you're working for says, yeah, we want to make you a trainer too. All right, and you've been driving for a year, and you have the year's worth of experience that your trainer had who taught you. Together, you're teaching your trainee with 2 years worth of accumulated knowledge. And half of that isn't yours. It was passed over to you from someone who wasn't qualified to teach you to start with. This is what's wrong with the trucking industry. Look, I am not slamming anyone who wants to come forward and better themselves. I'm not slamming somebody who's trying to climb up the ladder. I'm not slamming people who are trying their best and they're told that they are qualified by a trucking company. Because after all, why would the trucking company tell you, in all honesty, why would they tell you that you're qualified to drive? That makes you feel good. You're qualified to not only drive, but now you're qualified after a year to teach other people how to drive. You drive so well. Okay. All right. But they're not telling you the truth. Let me do it this way real quick, right? Have you guys ever seen, you wonder why you have some people who, like, they're rich and famous and stuff like that, but they do dumb stuff all the time, and the people around them never tell them that what they're doing is stupid. It makes them look stupid, and it makes them look dumb, and it's going to hurt them. And that's because the people that are around that rich and famous person want to keep their jobs, so they don't say anything negative to the rich and famous idiot. That's exactly what happens, and so they just look for a way out sooner or later. And that's what happens at these trucking companies that have a revolving door policy. They don't care if their trainer or their trainee get in an accident, cause a whole bunch of damage, possibly kill somebody. That's not what's on their mind when they're telling their person who has reached their 1 year anniversary as a brand new driver, rookie driver, 1 year anniversary, you can become a trainer. They are not thinking about any of the negative, unintentional consequences, right? The unintended consequences, they're not thinking about that. They're just thinking about getting that money, getting that dollar in. So if the person decides it doesn't work out, if the two people can't get along with each other, hey, they don't require that the trainer has any kind of teaching credentials that they bring to the table. They could care less. That's not what's on their mind. What's on their mind is we got to get more people behind the wheel of our trucks so that we can increase our revenue, so that we can balance our books. Hey, if those people don't work out, those two people that we're putting together, that 1 year experience who's now a trainer with the brand new, she's got a CDL, and they want to drive, and that new person wants to get out there, hey, sure, just put them out there. We don't care. You know what? Because that's not what we're thinking about. Nobody's going to say anything to those people who are making that decision, just like nobody's going to say anything to the rich and famous celebrity who's making a fool out of themselves because they want to keep their job. You follow me? So, no, it's not your safety department necessarily. It's not any one person who is jacking up this trucking industry. It's a general mindset as a whole that's messing up the trucking industry. Big time. Big time. Can you imagine what the medical industry would be like if we had 1 year, first year medical students doing surgeries on people? Don't take my word for it. Look it up for yourself. How long does a person go to medical school before they can be considered a doctor? That's cool, right? What are the steps to becoming a doctor? Okay. Look that up for yourself. I'm not going to bore you with that. Just go ahead and look it up. But first year medical students, suppose you had hospital administrators who say, yeah, we want to let the first year medical students do surgeries on people, remove appendixes, do all kinds of stuff like that, remove the tonsils, just do really cool stuff like that. And after all, it is the practice of medicine. That's what we call it. It is the practice of medicine. So let them practice on people. So that's what's wrong with the trucking industry today. There's a revolving door mentality. It doesn't matter if you're here or you leave. They could care less. They really could care less. The only thing they care about is where you left the truck. Tell me I'm wrong. That's all they care about. Where'd you leave the truck when you left the company? Not you left the company. Why did you leave the company? How come you left? Could you tell us why so we can improve ourselves? There's no exit interviews. They could care less about you. So that's what's wrong with the trucking industry today. All right, I've talked long enough. Tried to keep it under 15 minutes. There you have it. That's it. I'm going past this guy. See, all of a sudden I'm paying attention to what I'm doing. All right, I'll talk to you later, guys. Be safe. Bye-bye.